Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is a 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that we know and love as Fifi La Pew Pew. You might know it as a leFhy, a leaf blower, or a leHeffer. This one is located on the north spawn of Pilsen Encounter, and it's under the command of Mr. B of BUSA. And yes, we do know that that's not his real name. If we do mention his real name, it's more likely YouTube will put a strike against us because, yes, we might be using foul language, but no, not everybody thinks it's foul language. We're not taking the chance that YouTube's going to put a strike against us, though. Okay, well, he's aiming towards the other end of the factories. He's got a 105mm light field howitzer. That's where the leFH comes from. And it's capable of doing 410 alpha and 53mm pen with 1.9 meters on the burst radius. Just waiting to see if anybody turns up. They normally do. Oh, yep, we've got someone. And he takes a direct hit with the first shot. It's an M10. Okay, the cap is in that factory. They've also got a tank in there, a P2640, and we've got a Lux in there. And it looks like the Lux is a 5cm gun because he's firing intermittently, so he's reloading. If it was the 3cm gun, he'd fire a burst of fire and then have to reload. But that Lux is certainly getting shots off. Now we've got 2 shots into that P2640 so far. Fires another one in and gets a third hit. 145. He's now 1 shot. If he stays where he is, he's more than likely going to go down. And that Wolverine we hit earlier, he's come into the cap area now. Oh, we lost the Lux. But they lost the P26 and the Wolverine went down as well. Okay, so all they've got now is a Sav M43 in there. It's a tier 5 game with tier 4 tanks in it. And they are losing tanks with 2 up on the enemy at the moment. And that Sav M43 is coming out this door. Well, that shell missed because it hit the overheads. But can we get another one in? Sliding shot up, rounds out. Oh, he got a shot right into the rear of the guy. And I think that might have been a penetrating shot at that. Okay, we're looking for more enemy and we found one. A Strodny Viz 39. And he dies. He decided to go around the outside. And it didn't work out too well for him. We've got Panzer III Aslains J, but those tanks are in the way. And we can't hit the T6 medium because he hasn't come out behind that building yet. Now, the 105 leFH18B2 actually comes from the Shure B1. And that was a penetrating shot on the 72-76. And will more than likely be his last chance. Yep, he's gone. But we did get spotted there. And I think it may have been that Panzer III Aslains J that saw us. And that means the enemy Arty is more than likely going to start firing in our direction very shortly. So we'll keep our rear open. If we hear that rumble in the distance, that's a precursor to them shooting. Yep, there's the rumble. And the first enemy Arty shell lands nearby. And I've heard another rumble and another one. So it looks like 2 of the enemy Arty, or both enemy Artys, are firing in our direction. But they keep missing. Yep, there's another one. And another. You can see on the mini-map the little rings appearing near our position. They don't know where we are anymore, so they're not getting it right. Okay. Well, the Germans actually created the 105 leFH18B2. It was actually, as I said, the Char B1s that were converted by the Germans. And in fact, what they did is they took the turret off and mounted the howitzer right at the front of the vehicle. So it should be on the German tech tree, but it's not. And the reason for that, obviously, is because they needed a premium vehicle for the start of the French tech tree. And this is the one they chose. But it should actually have German markings on and be a German Arty, but they just wouldn't do that. In actual fact, they brought this Arty in at tier 4. And at tier 4 is very overpowered. In fact, a lot of people think it's overpowered at tier 5, but in actual fact, it's not. It's just about right at tier 5. In the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing with it, though, it can be very, very disconcerting to fight against. Oh, that was a direct hit. In fact, that was a penetrating shot on the T14. 442 hit points. That was a high roll. There's only 4 enemies remaining now. They've got 1 Arty left because the bishop's gone. And there's the enemy Fifi right down the other end of the map. So, rounds out. That was on target. Did 137 hit points of damage. Fire another one in. Just behind him. Now, he doesn't have a very high speed. Only 28 kilometers now at maximum. And he's moving about occasionally just to try and throw off our aim. He's doing it well, but he won't get it right forever. And that shell missed by RNG. Rounds out again. And he knows, because he can probably hear the rumble in the distance to tell us that, or tell him that he's being fired on. And that just missed him again. He's down to 41 hit points. Now he's down to just 1 hit point. A near miss should be enough to take him out of the game. In fact, it's the M5 Steward who gets him in the end. So there's only 3 enemies left and we've got 3 kills. It is possible that Mr. B could pick up a Top Gun. He'd have to kill all 3 remaining enemies though. He does have an advantage, 390 meters view range, and that should show him if the enemy is getting close. In fact, he should see the enemy before they see him. The other RT in our team is an MX13AM, and he also has a 105mm howitzer, although it's a post-war design, not a German one. The M10 RBFM on our team, well, he's fairly healthy, but I think he's AFK, actually. He hasn't moved from the cap area, from the spawn area, I should say. So I don't think we can rely on him other than for sentry duty to tell us if the enemy's getting close. And it also means that he probably won't shoot at the enemy when they appear. And there's one of them. The T14 has suddenly popped out into view. And he's outside the cap. So one of the others is in the cap. Rounds out. That's a kill. That's 4. Now, there's the Panzer III Ausrung J on his way towards us. First shot fires a bit long. Line it up. He's loaded. Fires a bit shallow there. I think that may have been because he didn't expect the Panzer III to stop. That one hit. In fact, that tracked him. You can see it didn't penetrate. Hit the upper plate. Second shot goes in, tracks him again. It didn't pin. And the third shot kills him dead, and that's 5 kills now for Mr. B. Very well done. Okay, the last enemy is the Chihi. And there he is. He's just been spotted coming in from the coal yards. Okay, that was a bit of snapshot. Snapshots don't tend to work that often. Some people like doing them just on the off chance it does work, but I promise you it's more often than not, it's a waste of ammunition. Now, he's not likely to come that way around the factory, and the reason I know that is the AMX-13AM is spying on that area, so he must be round the back of that one. You see, you use a bit of logic there. If he came into the site, the AMX-13 would tell us. The M10 has suddenly come into life, and he's moving. In fact, he lost a lot of health, so presumably the Chi-He was firing at him from the coal yards, and he's gone into the cap area, so he's not really being much use other than capping. And there's the Chi-He. Oh, and it's a lovely kill, and that wins the game, and we've got a Top Gun. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Mr. B of BUSA in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a BUSA medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 17. He got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game. And yes, he did pick up a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. He killed the last 3 enemies one by one and picked up the medal. His win rate for that game, 8,316, which is super unicum standard. And he did it very well indeed. He said, chicken banana. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. The highest damage in the game was 2,465. That went to Mr. B. Second highest damage actually went to the VK3001H on the enemy team with 1,841. And the third highest damage was their T14, who managed 1,435 hit points. When it came to kills, we can see Mr. B picked up 6. He got the highest number. 4 kills went to the VK3001H, and 3 kills went to the T14 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, Mr. B's got that as well. He's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,135 means he's the only player to get over 1,000 base in the game. And it's a very nice score indeed. 701 went to the Gabler Destroyer. 500, oh no, it's not 543, it's on him. It's actually on the T14 in third place with 634. He fired 36 rounds in that game. So yes, he still had 14 rounds spare at the end of the game. Got 14 direct hits on the enemy and 4 penetrations as well. 16 splashes, 2,465 hit points of damage, of which 2,008 were more than 300 meters. So there was some close range shots. I think the Chi-He may have been one of the closest. And the Panzer III Aslains J as well. He hit 9 of the enemy and damaged them and got 6 kills and got 78 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he actually made 27,841 credits from the game and 9,195 experience points, including a mission completion of 6,812 experience points. So a very nice game there by Mr. B. He sent this one in fairly recently. And it's good to see that things are still working for the dedicated Arty players. He actually has 2 marks of excellence on this Arty, but it's so difficult to get the 3rd mark on it that it does take a little while before you get there. But I'm sure Mr. B is well on the way to getting it. I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give it a like, and thank you for watching.